We're going to wait and see what happens in the House. And let's talk about the House a little bit more. Congressman Mark Amodei, a Republican from Nevada, is the co-sponsor of the Hurd-Aguilar bipartisan immigration bill in the House. Congressman, thank you very much for joining us. Let's talk about this budget deal. Senate leaders have reached a budget deal, but let's talk about what happens in the House. Mark Meadows just said to reporters a moment ago that if all four leaders agree on something, then everybody in Congress will vote yes on it. We've got Schumer. We've got McConnell. Where do things stand in your estimation with Pelosi and Ryan?
Well, I think it's one of the things where both the leaderships, we had a conference just a little while ago. Both of the leadership teams are in the process of unveiling this to their different conferences, mostly because all of our pals in the Senate didn't bother to telegraph much of what was going on. So obviously it's kind of that old thing, you got to read it to figure out where the heck you stand on it.
The bill doesn't have an immigration component. I know that you have an immigration plan that you've put forward in the Senate. As I mentioned a moment ago, Mitch McConnell has promised to bring up immigration. Nancy Pelosi is asking for that same assurance from Paul Ryan. You're somebody who wants to get things done, even though Nancy Pelosi is not your leader. But do you think that there should be, or do you need an assurance from Paul Ryan in order to vote in a spending bill without immigration?
Well, you know what? Question, since we've basically done nothing regardless of who was running the outfit for the last 10 years. And so when you sit here, 5 months ago, the president says, Congress, you got till March 5th. Guess what? Nobody's talking about March 5th now, which is another chapter in the Congress and Deadlines book. I'll let you fill in the contents of the chapter. So yeah, should we vote on it? Is Dreamers as ripe as any issue? Obviously. Are there solutions for DACA? Absolutely. But the problem has always been, Katie, is you got to stick with the facts. And guess what? There is a way to do things which is in the best interest of the country, which takes care of the issue. But if you're going to politicize it from one side or the other, then we're going to be sitting here again wondering why we haven't done anything.
Let's talk about your bill. You got 27 Republicans and 27 Democrats signing on to it. What else is in it?
Well, I mean, first of all, let's go with what you mentioned, which was those were 27 people who are strong on the issue, not strong on the politics. So if you really want a result, there you go. It deals with those folks that were in the program, some of them that weren't. It does it in a way that's in the best interest of the country, not the best interest in terms of one side or the other's talking points. And it also has a border security component in it for that part of the border. But once again, the politics oversweep all those facts. It's like, hey, has anybody said anything about the 5,000-mile border with trees growing on it to the north? I mean, come on. Are all those borders where there's international airports in the country?
Well, why don't you think anyone's talking about the Canadian border?
You know what? Because quite frankly, there's no political mileage to be made in it at the moment.
So there's no political mileage to be made for Canadians, only for Mexicans?
No, there's no political mileage for Democrats or Republicans. I mean, everybody's been talking about the southwest border forever, and that's fair enough, but it's like, hey, you can't afford when you have thousands, tens of thousands of miles of border and international airports in the country to just go, yep, that's where all the action is, because quite frankly, it isn't.
Let's talk for a moment about the politics. The president has said that other bipartisan measures are completely unacceptable. He wants all of the things that he's asking for, the $25 billion for the wall, the ending of chain migration or family reunification, the ending of the visa lottery program. You have Chief of Staff John Kelly talking about Dreamers and saying that some of them were too lazy to get off their blank to sign up for that. Is rhetoric like that from John Kelly, the rhetoric from the president that we've heard in the past, and also these very hard-line tenets that he wants for his deal, what is that going to do for moderates like you in the Republican Party for 2018, for their chances?
Well, you've hit the nail right on the head with the question, Katie, and that is, if this is going to be rhetoric-driven, then guess what? Don't hold your breath for March 5th or afterwards. And that's been the challenge, is this group of people on the Hurd bill on both sides of the aisle are credible people on the issue, bipartisan, nationwide, men, women, people of color, people not of color, and so it's like, well, God, why wouldn't we take a look at something like that? Perhaps they're onto something.
Are you worried about maintaining the House in 2018?
Well, you know what? In this business, you don't know whether you're a foot or horseback on any particular thing. But I can tell you, speaking only for myself, that my involvement with it is a commitment to the issue. I don't think it's going to change who votes for me of any national origin one way or the other. I'm just embarrassed about going back and trying to defend nothing for yet another cycle.
Nevada Republican Congressman Mark Amodei.